Dear Jim Acosta, you were recorded involved with CNN. It's not personal. You recorded needing to pretend it's personal when I say this, not and because of your uses of facts per your sources, interbranch, criminally foreign influenced. We have states and areas in collusion. Former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, with Mueller and Comey treatments, recorded and confessed them for their roles with racketeering uses of Facebook for violence and while simultaneously pretending to be against that. And with child abuse, his role is way worse than the principal sex offender with his campus then and now. And they forced me not to say this by lying about when I tried to record up report tied things, and they forced him and with worse child offenders, even sexual, with New Britain Superior Court's Facebook page. They're also before that, they were also because they were hiding crimes because they were recorded and confessed trying to pretend things, having people act things so they can pretend to perceive things and pretend to record things, even preemptively. They even use a whole bunch of different depositions and things, crime methods with depositions in cases that have nothing to do with other cases because they're furthering lie progressions with vertical and horizontal databases, crimes tied to the child abuses, tied to each age of fact treatment nature recorded with people associated with the FBI in New Haven, on and off state's attorney's office, their racketeering roles with their sources interbranch. They told WFSB to fake my words, and they told them to sequence racketeering and fake my family's words and fake me and them to fake locations, fake conversations with others. And whenever there's an exception, like like they put they're using it criminally. Like they're the roles with sequence racketeering. These are also people with racketeering leading up to and in the Trade Center attack, and since preventing me from reporting things that might have prevented the Trade Center attack because they're the same people's on off CSU recorded, confessed, and demonstrated from intercampuses racketeering connect collective because they put me in fake other the kids in fake locations. Then they hide life progressions from that. They have a Kerber family pretending I was friends with them ever. I don't know those people. The only context I know them in, they sought me out to make confessions about their roles with judges retired and standing. Everyone speaking the prison cliques, police forms, and overt criminal enterprises from various nations, and they act with they know they make confessions, demonstrations about how they share a girl. They don't like it, but they pretend not to realize when they're in front of each other. And these are people, the only context I know them in. Joe DeMoro, him, Joe DeMoro, they try to pretend other, they try to make an exception. That's recorded. A Joe DeMoro, Eric, Eric, Eric Jensen, and a Mike Pandoff, and a Mike Roberts, I mean. They had and Eric, I mean, Ray Reynolds involved with racketeering with army people, people associated with CCSU. I don't even know if they all went there. I didn't even went there. But they're involved also with racketeering on off the state judicial branch offices, also on off the state Weathersfield Police Department. So now they can't follow mandated law. Then you can't follow free speech. So now they're valuing vertical and horizontal database racketeering, not just against me, not just against the little kids. They still have painted the fake conversation. They have prison clicks note with this Joshua Julian with little kids, child sex offender campus when they were forcing it with more then and now. See, there's a Phil Cololo and our two Mendez police further recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with a whole bunch of natures of racketeering acts and uses of New Britain Superior Court by the Weathersfield Police and by FBI cliques involved with their sexual circles and with their prison cliques and with the various departments at CCSU and people on off the other campuses and various natures of departments that I know and don't, but I know they're recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. Like a whole bunch of people tied to a Chris Cullen and to a Mike Pandoff involved with racketeering, with doctors, with science cliques, and with police forms and with prosecutors involved. Crime methods and roles with racketeering, with identity racketeering at the end of the Berlin Turnpike. There's a gravestone spot there. There are people recorded, confessed, and demonstrated that, like, say that know my father because he lived not far from um Cedar Hill Cemetery, is which at the end there. There's a whole bunch of people who recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. They pretended to know me behind my back criminally, and in the context they do know me in, that was recorded. Them involved with what they should have told on what I recorded. See, the Wethersfield police chief, retired and standing police chiefs, now involved with child sex offenders. Further, other natures of crime with their family members too, like the Dillon family, Sean Dillon, Ann Dillon, Kevin Dillon. They're involved also with various natures of police, real estate companies that they brought into the racketeering on and off the state judicial branch office. A whole bunch of people tied to Alina's Pizza and to doctors and foreign and domestic medical clinics like associated with like DACA and market. This goes into marketing. These people become nurses. These are jobs. These people, they're. This guy's a sergeant. He's a. This guy's a. He's a sergeant of. They walk around the prison. These people are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated crimes with a principal sex offender since before he was in there. Crimes with my town's police chief. Crimes with families in my area, retired and standing, involved with racketeering acts, intercities, everywhere I went, where other places I live, same house / S involved with that, recorded actually. They recorded themselves and painted into a corner. Their crime acts rolls with a whole bunch of people leading up to, and in the 2006 case too, and the Trade Center attack. I mean, tied to former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, and his co-defendants. A bunch of them were with recorded ties into the racketeering acts, roles, and needs and natures of houses in my area, which they don't even realize because everyone's being just coached to they're using fact cheaping nature racketeering tricks. And they're exploiting where and how we don't have mandated law followed by people who are supposed to be following it. They're reading statutes, pretending they have the rights to do things, leaving out how the perjury racketeering rules, identity thefts, way worse than extortion, torture, preventing free speech offensively, consciously. They know that there are all kinds of natures of medical racketeering rules with experts on logic that are criminally foreign influenced and delusions wrought. I'm not even a doctor. I'm going to delineate the delusions from the various natures of courts, from their criminal foreign influences. If you just force them now, President Trump, they're forging names and switching names into branch and all private tied to them. And how they're kept criminally foreign influenced by a whole bunch of natures of nations, like associated with this Scalora family. Whole bunch of people associated through time with this Kerr, and people associated on and off CCSU with them, and on and off West Farms Mall. What on and off? There's a place used to be the Tuttle House. I don't know that there's like a Connecticut liquor place, whatever it's named next to it, a dancing place. These are all people involved with Justin Klovinskis, his wife, involved with the MPO Floyd, other MB, foreign and domestic, involved with racketeering with falsified police reports, mail crime, wire crimes, road crime rules with uses of the sensibilities of presidents because of how they have states and areas locked. So headache. And this is torture. This is torture. This is free speech is what it's about. This is what Sub Rosa. Don't leave it. This is what it's about. This is what keeps only let opinions think if they're going to be if they have fact cheaping nature styles that are beneficial to they're going to make opinions when people are trying to talk about real what is facts, truth, or way, not denying exceptions. See, these people are making everyone agree what that is nuts, offensively, formally. That's because they're criminally foreign influence and delusions raw. Victim predators, the same way the overt criminal enterprises are recorded, kept needing to hide lies from them. There were a whole bunch of people recorded, confessed, actually communicating, and I tried to demonstrate it. I didn't try to demonstrate it, but people personally, they made it personal. Now they're trying to, oh, why would you be mean to me? Like, they're in the background, lying about me. I don't know these people. The Perone family, the Kerr family, the DeMoro family. I don't know the names of the people that are associated with Millwoods Park, but they pretended things. All I know is that they are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with wire crimes, mail crime clicks, overt criminal enterprises, criminal uses of the witness protection program, also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated tied to houses in my area used criminally by them. The same people involved, each of the campuses I went to, houses next to them, used for crimes. This just reminds. Former director of the F.B.I. down. People associated with these campuses. No, that doesn't mean I know them. And the people I do, they can't put anything in paper because their crimes with judges through time in the background with tricks. They bring people into courts. They don't let anyone talk, not for legitimate reasons, and not for the legitimate reasons because I know they hurt people if they do talk because they'll pretend they can't understand that there are exceptions. They can't understand that their statutes are criminally foreign influence, delusions, wrought, weapons used by them already, self-value, the same way the overt criminal enterprises are. Then you guys play a game with color. You bring like, oh, you have to make comparison. That's why 6 sides. 6 sides. So now we can't make fun. Then you're using color that way. Barack Obama is clear. What makes him more valuable is because everyone's using that to mean what it doesn't. And that shows what their quality of fact-checking nature. Their premise is ill. Their sequence is ill. Their active true value treatment's ill. Progressive, everyone. No one spoke for the nature of impositions on any area, let alone what was forced to protract. Even sicker than the suburbs, even tactically denatured relationship to nature, built to cause negative value nature progression acts in nature they can build. They can maintain blame other things, others themselves. Acts like predicate acts. I'm not a lawyer. Former director of the F.B.I. He's recorded, failed to make the distinction. They're valuing English obfuscated from its course, where the sciences share an identity. This on too, and as the value of all parts of space is volume, nature of volume as English. And how this is language, how our language is obligated to speak. You see how the predicate of English is associated with the main verb. Now, put an ing on the main verb, it can't be a main verb anymore. Its identity changes. Put an identity on a predicate act of the law. Now you have a criminal insidiousness nature. Now you have wrongdoers tied to that criminal insidious nature. Everyone needs to have the same lies, the same sequence shifts, finite, active, progressive, simultaneously by what is greater than that, forsaken too, therefore. Go value more, not less. That's force. Away goes lethal IDs. Force, space, nature, transfer. Or we change the definitions, or we don't. We perfect them. We have ill stewards of every fact, treatment, nature, value there is. Let alone humanities. That needs to blame it on thing other. Everyone's time, all imposition of bond. Forget that. And then you're going to be a style of fact-checking nature, criminal and serious nature. It's all right. But now they're in the way of mandated law. Uses of Facebook for child offenders. High-class school. I ask you nice. Respond. You don't have people that acted behind my back to my family members, pretending they know me. 2 Mendez police, recorded and confessed, whole lady family. A Brian Silver, I don't know them. I know of them. Involved with his Brendan Lane, his father, Brendan Lane, women in their family, involved with triage, involved with prison clicks, Doctors force drugs in people, forging names, switching names, with courts, prosecutors, pretending they had conversations with people through time. The ones raised to those positions through the schools, real sick fools. Proofs that they had some kids pull over on the bikes and that they have that written somewhere. They're pretending to investigate things now because I need the cop. You will follow mandated course in sequence. You will pick one name in sequence into branch while getting down. That is recorded. President Trump, we need federal stewardships of Connecticut. They're playing games. They're lying about what's actually recorded. They're putting fake recorded things in the databases. The news steals my voice. The fake words. They did that with my family. They attach me. Other people at fake locations. They know we can't watch each other 24/7. We are our own bodies. Individual, group, together. They are in positions against each. Now you have military involved with your identity racketeering. You fakes. You get me a response too. Pick one name in sequence while getting down to Rebel schedule. Your sister, what's her name? Don't schedule. I never had a conversation with her. Those people in Middletown on that river, associated with this folklore, associated with these forensics clicks, get down, you're in trouble now. For domestic child offenders. People associated with CVS, policing of these places, Walgreens. Let's go. Get ready, CNN. CCSU is lying. They are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. They are raising criminally foreign influence. State police and their family members further involved also. Other agencies, their family members, all tied to our town, but as the ones further into campuses. All we need is actually recorded. Now they need to fear that because they're actually recorded in nature. Coleman, Mueller, sequence shifts. Hoax, worse than a hoax. Coup, worse than a coup. Out of the state judicial offices through time, child offenders. Vertical laws of the database racketeering. Other motivations, needs, interests for not only uses of drugs, but for the qualities of the drugs used to keep groups used for speaking through others criminally involved influence state maintained that way. Taps, get that code with the letters of thing's name. Kaepernick, please respond. Someone follow mandated law who disbelieves. Pick one name in sequence onto writing now. They will not give writing. They can that way attach more and more fake behavior on people, more and more fake words on people, more and more fake recorded things in the databases. Attaching little kids to fake locations through time. I'll show you how the women into branch care nothing about these girls and boys. You'll see how these child affairs went through. I couldn't believe it. I'll show you how it's kept real. State police record first. They have rights to lie about the fake news with their roles with the CCSU, state police forums, square fair police collusion of our criminal enterprises, private, all kinds of nations, check, war crimes, mail crimes, perjury, racketeering, associated with Westfield Pizza, recent reports of a shooting. The names in both sides of that recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with CCSU, trying to real sick fakes. A whole bunch of people on corners, on Church Street, in Westfield, saw me out to record, confess, and demonstrate their roles with this. Thankfully, originally instead, their house in the corner, right on the corner. from the Webb House, right when George Washington had to come to the comic book store, only comic book store that would avert slavery. Slavery against everyone, overt, but only remembered against black color. And only extant, tortured, forsaken, because free speech is preventing reality. We have our identity stolen. We have long-held triages associated with psychological experts who are forging names, switching names, racketeering roles with murders, with drug crimes. From my term, as the one sick of the no offender Hartford, no matter who pulls the trigger, these guys are ill, these women too. I'll tell you true. They have election crime rules actually recorded. Uses of the town offices. Are you out of your mind? Uses of the police, of the investigators associated with insurance companies. In collusion with the racketeering roles and natures originally and still. Because free speech is prevented here. Some punks will kill and pretend that they won't care. Pretending as like a guy with the patch. Coward! Respond here to mandated law. Who disbelieves? That's the evidence is actually recorded. Whole crime methods. That's what we're watching here. That's what the little rap guy and friends is about. With their cult of extortion of New York City, Hartford, Connecticut, and the rest of the world. The neighboring suburbs and nations. Extorted too. See, we have an organized crime conversation to understand. That's what the Bible's about. That's what the Quran is about. Offensively, we have people in sustained ways, each age of our lives, faking conversations with us, pretend acting so people can pretend to record things so they can discredit us in the background, because various natures of courts, their family members, and all with them are recorded how kept sick still. Religion fell! They're still in the movement for their coup. We're worse than a hoax. Now there are conspiracy theorists against us. Sequence racketeering, chick fact human natures. Forging names, switching names, pretend to hold conversations just to pretend they believe other people have conspiracies, making that up. You long have learned. Identities are law you each. Now one must teach. Ancient gaming system will set forth. Well, we will not even own to maintain our speech free. To maintain the coming glory real this time. And to see, to decide for sure. But we are left out here and for sure can't cause other but negative and nature progressions, acts, and natures. And that long self-value, no. All we need for peace and free speech is hell. All we need for evolution, fruits, and gifts are now. We're going to here. That means appear. Now, who's offensively saying it's got to come through the money? They're all them. You want to play punk games like that? You won't. Because you can't pretend to have sophistication if you're putting there first. Forsaken is forsaken. These validated market positions false. Tactically altered from the variable nature position perfect. True. Real always. That has exceptions too. Now, I'll teach this class here true. I'll tell you English true. That's why I don't know if it was in this video or last time. I'm trying to talk about the predicate. The predicate act values about identity's nature of volume is increasing. Doesn't just grow things in like plants, like the nature of the volume of the soil. Things don't just depend on it like the water, like the nature of the water. The way things depend on identity nature is more and more of itself positive or negative. But the system of three natures of positive. And unless they're positive all together at the same time, which shows there are 5 semi-natures, for example. Temporary positive as criminal justice nature is negative value nature. That's science. It's all right, you want to debate what's true or not, but don't do it as a knave. And don't do it with them make those kind of conversations like that when someone needs to report actual facts, actual sequence. Play games. You should be with CNN. Who influenced you there? Take down the entire. Who disbelieves? Give me their name. Former director of the F.B.I, Robert Luskin, involved with y'all, CNN. Jim Acosta. You're a bad man to hide when somebody else for mandated law. You ask somebody else. Y'all just play on sides. And no one's following the law. We have no one able to counter what's for sustained. Juxtaposed, nature crime, you're understanding rules, all kind of ways. You're in fake things, and that makes you time. Now try to use it up. You want to pretend that's real in the background? Do it to my face. Follow me, do you want to put something I'm writing now? Fox Connecticut News, WMSP, let's go. Let's go! More! I have time to list all your crap. I do it in our videos. I asked you, Kai, many times. Your people will correct confess demonstrate. You're being coached to avoid and to prevent mandated law. You sick there? No! That's recorded. You ain't gonna lie about my behavior. I'm no candidate. You're incapable of an election now. Time is worth it. Let's go. Respond. Come on, no fire departments in the city too. Wait. You want because you guys are involved with the Russians involved with these courts and with the wire racketeering. Through time. I just remind. Control the mind. Who disbelieves? Black whites, we will move forward here, for you are as forsaken if you are pigmented, and if you are not. So we must be for our species clear. We must use mandated law. We must counter this coup. And all fake sides do not conform. Please give me a response. See Renaissance. I say I am free. The vibe black for real. Now take people deeper and deeper investing to fact treatments and defenses of them and stars incapable of defending that. It'll stand in men a voice with sequence true, inherent true, fact, active true, progressive true, and overall true. There were all kinds of racketeering roles with the phenomena of where and how. So long mandated was overtly exploited while prevented simultaneously. We will examine new ways this nation indeed the species value. Here we train I am your species coach!